Welcome to Candid Travels, Texas. All right. We're entering into April of 2020. And like last week, we're doing a travel while I share with you the tactical tip, the sermon net, if you will. Look at the beautiful sun. Whew. So as you know, last week we were traveling by truck, and now I am now on foot. We are on foot. Allison is with me. She is invisible right now because she says she doesn't want to be on this show, which is cool.
I have my Harry Potter invisible clothes.
Oh yeah. Oh, see? So she is on the show, but she doesn't want to be taking off her Harry Potter invisible cloak. Okay. So, before we go on, I just want to say we want to just send out all our love and prayers to all the people around the world who are right now facing this global pandemic. And I just want to keep everybody on mind. Oh, let's go straight. Let's go straight. Go straight. Okay. Because you're going into the shade. Okay, by the way, we're staying in the sun because, according to the CDC, now this is something I've always done anyway, is for your immune system to be good, you definitely want to have some kind of a vitamin D, which is this thing right there. Now you can get sprays. Sprays are cool, but there's nothing that will replace the actual sun. So right now, we're just walking around at home here in our neighborhood, and the weather is tremendously great right now.
It is great.
It is like 70 something, beautiful. Oh, how gorgeous is that? Whew. And so we're just walking. Take it easy, highly recommended. Now, Center for Disease Control in the United States, here in the States, is recommending that you get vitamin D3. Yes, there are sprays, and if you really can't get out, you can try using those precursors. But the best is to get it in the sun like me. And see, look at this. My One Punch Man bald cafe scalp here is a perfect solar panel for collecting D3. Highly recommended for anybody who wants to go sheer. Now just be careful you don't want too much. I never get too much. This is gorgeous, huh? Oh, look at this. All right, look at that gorgeous sun. Yeah, you saw that giraffe. Taking in that vitamin D. Okay, so last week, as you know, we were moving around and traveling, and I was sharing the tactic with you, or the sermonette, and that was the Ryan Metzel sleep tactic. So go back and check that one. These are all really essentials for ATX ITAC family and the Candid Travels family for any time there's like major pandemics. So today I call this the Non Protocal tactic. All right, it's called the Non Protocol tactic. Now, based upon the fact that what you have here is you have a tendency for people to get into a rut or a rote. So if people are in a rut or a rote, what that means is that they like to, they follow protocol. And sometimes you just can't follow protocol. You cannot follow protocol. You just have to be able to pivot and be fluid. I have several examples of that. Another way of calling it, saying that, it would be legality, legalism. People who are very legalistic, they base something just on law, and there's absolutely no basis of it. They're not thinking, okay? So you always want to think. So I call this a non-protocol tactic. An example would be, okay, like in the Bible, in the New Testament, in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8, verse 9, it says, "For by grace you have been saved It is a gift, not that of yourselves. So now no one should boast. Now, some people will, this is one of the reasons a lot of people, I believe, who are not Christians may have a problem with being Christians, because some Christians will take that so far and say, hey, you know, since I'm going to get to heaven by grace, by the grace of God, why would it matter if I end up sinning? I could do whatever I want. Well, that would be basically doing the same thing in saying that, hey, you know, it would be doing the same thing as saying, hey, you know, I can do whatever I want. It's based on a protocol, right? Now, this goes into something that is very important for all of you to understand, and that is that with protocol, this is a thing, with protocol, it can go too far. Like, for example, in Western medicine or allopathic medicine, there is the concept of a diagnosis, which is basically finding a specific cause to a problem and the solution, the treatment. Now, the problem is that nowadays, in the year 2020, all pathogens have changed versus let's say, 1950. Pre-1950, pathogens actually are static. What does that mean? You can find the cause of an illness, and when you find the cause of an illness, you can prescribe a specific remedy for it, or a vaccine. Okay. What that means is, if the pathogen stays static, right, then you can find a vaccine to basically counter that particular pathogen. Now, here's the reality of the situation. 2020, it is April 2020 right now. Beautiful sun. Oh, getting all that vitamin D3, right? There is no way a person can have a specific treatment for any illness, because the cause of the illness is in constant flux, if you will. Constant morphing, or you want to use words like mutation or whatever. Also, many of the illnesses are caused by a psychological and emotional imbalance and might be blamed on some kind of pathogen. That's a possibility as well. So the way the world is changing, we have so many things that are changing constantly with technology. Look, I'm talking to you all from here. 20 years ago, I would be giving this lecture at a medical conference or a conference hall. Or if I were delivering a sermon as a reverend, I would be at the pulpit. But now I'm doing this with no shirt on, in the sun, enjoying this vacation. So, in a way, there is the Almighty, there is the universe that is in control. I believe in the Creator. There's a Creator God. In the Old Testament, the Jewish Bible, it says, acknowledge God in all things. All right? How can we not? If there is a Creator, this Creator is involved in every detail of our lives, right? Now, with that being said, would a human established protocol or legalism ever be able to overcome that? There's no way that's going to happen. So I'm going to say in ATX ITAC, we're going to establish the non-protocol tactic. Doesn't mean you don't have protocol. Like, an example would be this. All right, I'm walking around in the sun, no sunscreen. Now, in the past, they would say, oh, sun will cause skin cancer. At one time, the medical community said, don't eat egg yolks because it's bad for you. Now, you should eat egg yolks. So, even the medical community, the Western medical community itself, does not follow protocol always. So shout out to my brother who's out there on the front lines, Kevin, taking care of coronavirus patients, the few that we have here in Texas. He's up north, North Texas. We love you. We're praying for you. He's a medical doctor that's a primary care physician or a family doc that was recruited into dealing with this. We love you. Pace yourself. I've been pretty busy too, mainly in a consultation capacity, and that's probably why we're walking around our neighborhood. Also, the Central Texas area is officially, due to the pandemic, under a shelter in, hey, how do you call it? What are we calling it, Allison? Shelter, what in? Shelter in place. Basically, it's just saying, hey, you need to stay home and don't do unnecessary travel, which is actually a good thing if it's airborne and if it's contagious, and quarantining will work. Now, we don't know right now whether quarantine will work because, like I just said earlier, it's 2020. Pathogens are constantly in flux. They don't stay the same way. So, oh wow, look at this beautiful. We got some of that in our backyard too. Anyway, some nice bamboo. Allison turned around, see. Look at her, she's on the show. She just doesn't want us to see her beautiful self. She's just being selfish with her beauty right now. Now she's shaking her head and grinning. Okay, so anyway, this non-protocol tactic, if you will, means to be always in perception rather than in judgment. Now, remember, go back to see when we were at SeaWorld, San Antonio, called the grandma tactic, where I shared my grandmother's tactic. She was good friends with the late Nancy Reagan, the President Reagan's wife, the First Lady from the 1980s. They were part of the Presbyterian Women's League. Well, my grandma taught me something that I remembered, which is anytime you have judgment plus a resistance to that judgment, you're going to suffer. So if you go the opposite direction, you don't judge, you don't resist, then there's not going to be any suffering, right? I hit a shade spot. Okay, we're going to go on this side, right there. There's sun. I guess I'm going to step in the sun. There's not a whole lot of cars, so we can even walk in the middle of the road right now. There's a baby carriage behind me and in front. It's good to see all the little babies are getting their fresh air and their sun. And there's another baby carriage. All right. Getting some good sun. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I don't know if Allison got on camera. So, once again, protocol. You don't want to just stick onto protocol, because the question is, what happens in a scenario that's always changing? Okay? One time, oh, don't get too much sun. Now it's like, hey, you need to get an appropriate amount of sun. So a lot of it is just using your common sense. And I'm loving this walk here. I'm chi walking. Look up Danny Dreyer's chi walk. And we are going to hit a spot where there's a lot of sun. So we just hang out in there for a while. All right. We're on foot. That's considered traveling. Love these sandals, man. These are great. Love these sandals. All right. Whew. The weather's really good. It's the most beautiful weather right now. And so, let's go back to what we talked about. Many people do not want to be Christians because Christians can be very judgmental. They can major on the minors, if you will, right? Some Christians who believe in the grace theology will say, hey, since I'm going to go to heaven anyway, I can do whatever I want. That also is a protocol type thing, or a legalism. It's a form of legalism. So grace doesn't mean you do whatever you want, hurting people, and since you're going to get to heaven because Jesus paid for your sins. That's not what grace is about only. Okay, so when you're doing martial arts, we study different forms. We study techniques. But if we're constantly on the protocol situation, you will be static. And so this is a great opportunity to learn. Oh my gosh, that is a beautiful set of roses. Look at that. One of our neighbors. Wow. How pretty is that? That's so pretty. Stop and see and smell the rose. Whew. Yeah, that was pretty roses. Whew. We're traveling on foot. There you go. So I'm going on my forefront foot. There you go. Okay, so a lot of people are going to have the ability to survive anything. Okay, so instead of being so concerned of what's going on outside of you, focus internally. This is the whole key to ATX Internal Tactical Arts Collective, which is internal tactical arts. Internal tactical arts. Go inside of you. What's important is what's inside of you. So, as I share this, I ask anyone as a UN Method certified practitioner, if you know what that is, then you'll contact me. Until this quote-unquote global pandemic is kind of over, which I don't believe it ever will be, I will be doing free UN Method online type modalities for you. Just send an email to drliualohaliu@gmail.com. Send me your problems, any symptoms you have, and we will resolve it. I will resolve it for you. Cyberspace, non-locally. Okay? Feel free to do that. You can communicate with me via email. Now, for a live session, obviously, I can't do that for everyone, but I can do it if you send emails in. Okay? Once you send that email in, we got you. Okay, it's a little shaded here, but it's beautiful right now, and the weather is just so good. It's like no shirt required day. But once again, things are so different now. I can actually share with you all in this manner. Whereas 20 years ago, I'd be wearing a suit, tie, maybe a clergy collar, depending on what I'm doing. If I'm a chaplain, capacity, it's just very different now. So what's cool is just look around us. Things are in constant flux, constant change. Things will never be as the same as in the past. It will never go back to that. And a person can either enjoy it, find it exciting, or they'll be, oh my gosh, just unhappy all the time. And do not worry about the externals. Go within. Go within, pace yourself, and then all will fall into place. Old Testament, once again, says, in all things acknowledge God. Meaning there is not one thing that cannot be outside of the Creator's encompassing circle. So, okay, in the past, people said you needed 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Now, 10 to 14 is not too little of bed rest. Also, for people, once again, with insomnia, don't try to sleep. Just lay there. Okay, I've known this since I was in my early 20s. Just lay there and rest, read, and nowadays you can even use your iPad or check email, read a book, pray, and just, if you don't sleep, it means God wants your time, wants to hang out with you. Okay, so anyway, it's a nice walk. We can walk slowly and just enjoy our time. There's so many people out here right now just staying fit. Also, we do not want health. We want fitness. So, if you want fitness, then what happens is you have a focus on strength and wellness. Now, basic UN method everyone should know is, for those of you who are into this, and it is biblically supported. If you have any questions about that, email me personally and I will give you the scriptural evidence for why we should be doing this. And that's, you think you have a midline, pretend you have a little tail. We all have tails. We have vestigial tails. When we were in the mother's womb, we had a tail, you know. And then strengthen that midline and look for, intuitively, any weak areas and delete, like on a computer. So you can start with that. And if you're having trouble still, I will be taking care of you, no charge. Just send me an email, okay? Just send me an email, and then we'll see if it works. If not, then you can just send me another email. Keep sending me emails, okay, until you're well, all right? So once again, protocols. We can't use protocols in this day and age. Just within, let's say, the health model. Okay, health is defined as the absence of disease. The absence of disease, okay? And we cannot define whether somebody has a disease or not nowadays, because it's all based upon symptomatic observation. Also, let's say a diagnostic test tests for some particular pathogen and the individual has it. The next moment later, that pathogen may change, and you take that same diagnostic test and it shows negative, but it's mutated and changed into something else. So the good news is we no longer have to worry about health, because health is defined by judgment plus resistance, right? Which always ends in suffering, according to my grandma, right? Go back and watch the grandma tactic from SeaWorld. The key here is my grandma was a pharmacist. She's one of those old-time pharmacists. But she always taught me that you have to focus on fitness, your ability to move around. Like right now we're walking. If we weren't well enough, we couldn't walk. You want to focus on fitness, not health. Because the health world is way too difficult, especially in 2020. Every cause of disease changes. It morphs. So there's no value. It's impossible to get a vaccine for anything because the cause is going to change. An old movie called Terminator 2. It's an old movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, that's right. Hasta la vista, baby. You remember that? Okay. The T-1000 was a machine that was constantly changing form. So he could mimic himself, make him look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He could do whatever he wants. Okay, so anyway, that's how it is now with all the pathogens, and the world is constantly changing. So people living in the past who are always trying to determine what's good and what's bad and then trying to fight it, they're not going to make it. So that's why here at ATX ITAC we have the Non Protocol tactic. There's nothing wrong with protocols. By the way, these are my glasses. Look at how dark they are. They turn into sunglasses. This is pretty cool. And indoors when there's no sun, it like clears up. I love these things. Let's see. Here we are. There's some sun over there. We're gonna just sit there and hang out. Woo! There's sun right there. Sit right in the sun. Yeah. All right. We're enjoying the sun. Allison's sitting next to me. We'll see how much longer she's here. We'll see. All right. Hopefully we'll all be together. And look at that beautiful sun. Just quiet and listen to the birds. The Almighty has forced everyone on this planet in 140 plus countries. There's some countries that are operating normally, but most countries have been forced to go on vacation because only the strong will take a rest. Be strong. All right. Thanks for joining us at Candid Travels, Texas. Our location, delivery of vacation. Vacation on delivery. Home delivery vacation. And we're just in our neighborhood. They turned the fountains off and everything. That's how it looks like without the fountains on. Cobblestone. Just gonna sit here. Y'all can enjoy for a moment. Listen to the birds. You hear the birds, Allison?
Yeah, it's
How
nice.
great is that? So take a moment to stop and rest. You don't need to rest, you're weak. People who want not to rest are actually weak. The strong, we always rest. All right, 10 to 14 hours of sleep, ATX ITAC family. Look at that beautiful blue sky. Oh, wow. Look at that. It's really gorgeous. Everybody's having a good time here during this global pandemic. Aloha from Texas, guys. Reverend Dr. Sullivan Stone, D.D. Ph.D. ND. Signing off. This is for you, Chaplain Reese. I watched the last one, it was good. I don't know if y'all can see this, but this is Charlotte. Charlotte, she's stunning too. She's right at my feet right now. Charlotte the spider. She built a nice little web. Kind of like Lisa Concepcion, who's sunning in Miami. Hello, Lisa. She's Lisa the love coach that teaches people with relationships, and she's teaching a lot of great stuff also during this time of global pandemic from Miami, Florida. Kudos to you, Lisa, if you're watching. I think you do. Oh, this beautiful spider is just sunning. To go. Ooh, here we are. It's beautiful. Happy April 2020. Just remember, go within. Be strong and fit from within. Don't worry about what's on the outside. Focus on your fitness. Let the healthcare practitioners take care of health. But once again, they're fighting a very tough environment and a tough 2020 because their model is based upon diagnosis and treatment, judgment and resistance. It will not work. So any healthcare practitioners want me to once again give a online conference, I will do that. Just contact me, drliualohliu@gmail.com. I've been working with people who are already plugged in with the government, but if there's any private practitioners out there, please feel free to contact me and we'll do an online option. All right. Vitamin D3. Here's a smoother surface and more sun. D3. Your sensei. I'm your sensei. Yes, sensei. Yes, yes, sensei. Look at that. That's a great latissimus dorsi lats exercise, and you don't need weights. Look at that. Just put a rope around the tree and enjoy. Very Terry Black's Barbecue. We are open to go orders. All right. Look at that. Nice. Horse and mule feed. That's the bag that they lined up. This is great. That's what's left. Well, old phones. What is that? Look at that. Help? Is that Santa Claus? Every day is Christmas. Sun. Vitamin D is leaving. Beautiful lions. More bluebonnets. April 2020.